The Bare Truth by Kelvin Lim, Master Coach. Daniel Pink talks about how people are motivated by autonomy. I call bullshit. Because most people are not motivated. And I think it is more vital to understand the part of us that is not motivated and why. And it goes back into a very simple relationship to self-trust. And that simply is that they cannot be trusted. And they know they can't be trusted. And they don't trust themselves. And I think the problem could be the problem is more systemic than anything else. Because I don't think anybody disagrees with the idea that a good authority is useful and healthy. But when the expectations are not set in the correct way, as in we are growing from a need to have good authority to being able to share power with the authority and then shaping with our own experiences and wisdom what is better for the authority, then we have allowed the authority to become our parent. Whether the authority comes from tradition or somebody claiming to have power even though they don't have any or expertise, or simply just reliability, that often has been the case. And if people are unmotivated, then, and if you look at it from I need to be motivated, I need to motivate my workforce point of view, then we get ourselves into a problem. And the problem is that in order for you to put somebody in a position and hold them there, the person has to be locked in place, and that's like the prison scenario. In order for you to have a prisoner, you must have a prison guard. And you end up sacrificing a prisoner together with a prison guard, of which both are unproductive because they cannot contribute. And it comes to a standstill. And if you go into the adult frame of that, and people still look to references outside of themselves before they make their decisions, then the majority of the human race is very childish and immature. They haven't grown up. They haven't reached the point where they have learned how to take responsibility for their lives. We haven't learned to take responsibility for our world. We haven't learned to take responsibility for our choices. We haven't learned to take responsibilities for forming the authorities that we have formed. And that is a huge absence of trust in any form. In other words, I have to put all these rules because I cannot trust that you can conduct yourself with a certain decorum, that you wouldn't have a certain about accountability or responsibility, which points to that the way people are encultured is like that they are brought up in such a way that they cannot be trusted, they cannot be responsible, they cannot be accountable. And why is it that when a person who is able to keep their word, be of integrity, do the moral thing, stands on high ethical ground, and be capable of love and wise decisions, is considered to be a rare commodity? I think that's what every human being should be. And if we allow the notion that we have reached a point where we don't trust ourselves and it reflects in all the aspects of our lives, we scramble to try to make things happen. And then if we allow ourselves to mature in that process and take on the process seriously about developing our trust in ourselves, then that trust can be reflected in the things that we create. And without trusting the process, the skills, the mastery, the idea, the inspiration, there is no creation that's worth anything. I mean, we can do creations that maintain things, we can do creations that track us, we can do creations that increase control. But what about creations that expand all of humanity? And it's scary because we end up in a world where we are fearful of getting to know people around us. And our world becomes isolated because I can't trust my neighbor. Whereas not too long ago in the recent past, when somebody left their homes and they couldn't be at home to take care of their home, they were entrusted to their neighbor. And I did that when I was growing up. But I don't see that happening these days, after all these years. And so I want to invite you to consider how eroded that trust factor is in your environment that could be a reflection of the degree of trust that exists in yourself.